Hey, Truth Seeker, welcome back. Zach here, 210th post. I want to talk about Andrew Luck, the Colts' rigged path to Super Bowl 49, and tomorrow's game against the Dallas Cowboys and why that is significant. Let's begin with Andrew Luck. I want to show you how this person was born to be the person we have come to know him as, from the way he was named to the rest. You can find the clues to this by noticing how for the past, well, now much of the past decade, he's been in the spotlight while he was at Stanford as a college player and in the NFL as an Indianapolis Colt. He's said to be the best young QB since Peyton Manning, possibly the best ever. Him and Peyton Manning both played for the Indianapolis Colts to begin their career. So let's look at his name in Pythagorean gematria. Andrew becomes 29, Austin becomes 17, Luck becomes 20. Sum this all up, it's 66, the year of the first Super Bowl in the NFL. If you just do Andrew Luck, as he's often called, it sums to 49, and I'm going to argue in this post that he's always been destined to play in this game. Also, I want to show you these numbers, 66, how it's significant to the NFL. So look, 1966 season, the first year of the Super Bowl, was the 47th regular season of professional football. 47-66. Important numbers. I'm going to show you how they factor into Andrew Luck and what's ahead for him. All right. Let's see. We'll come back here in a second. All right. So, when you do the name Luck with simple English gematria, just using the place of the alphabet, L is the 12th letter, U is the 21st, C is the 3rd, K is the 11th. 12, 21, 3, 11, add it together, it sums to 47. Tomorrow's date numerology is December 21st. It's 12/21, a date with 33 numerology, plus 14 is 47. And look how similar that looks to Luck. 12, 21, and then we have a 14 instead of a 3 and 11. Remember, they're playing the Dallas Cowboys, the team that the Baltimore Colts, the old Colts team, the original Colts team, this was Super Bowl V matchup, was Colts-Cowboys, much like tomorrow's game. True Seeker, I need to go back from here and show you how I figured out that the Colts and the Lions were going to be this year's Super Bowl participants after the Week 3 game. And if you haven't seen my video post, I have one. It's right here. You can look this up. It's episode 81. I explain exactly how I predicted the Super Bowl after the Week 3 games. And I'll get into it here again. So let's go back to their schedule. Notice that in Week 1, Andrew Luck lost in Denver, where Peyton Manning now plays, the quarterback he replaced in Indianapolis, the quarterback who he was compared to as being the greatest since. Notice how he lost to him Week 1. The sum of this score is 24 plus 31 equals 55, a very important number in numerology. Before this game began, there was a major tribute to Sam Pagano, the father of Chuck Pagano, the coach of the Colts. And I thought this was interesting because the game was in Denver, but they were doing this major tribute for someone affiliated with the Colts. Anyway, just notice that the gematria of Sam is 33, and the gematria of Sam Pagano with Pythagorean gematria is also 33. So that was an interesting curiosity. I saw that Week 1, and that didn't make me go, aha, the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. But I just documented in my mind. I said, that was interesting, giving tribute to the father of the coach of the Colts in Denver. Weird. All right. So anyhow, the next week, they lost to Philly in their own stadium. Should be noted that the Philadelphia Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers were added to the NFL in the year 1933, the bottom of the Great Depression. They're both from the Keystone State. Keystone has a gematria of 33. Also that year, a team was added called the Cincinnati Reds, just like the baseball team, but they collapsed after that first season. So only the Eagles and the Steelers have survived. And what's interesting about those two teams is the Philadelphia Eagles have never won a Super Bowl. The Steelers hold the record with most Super Bowls. All right, so anyhow, it was this game right here that made me predict the Colts will be in Super Bowl 49. And I'll tell you exactly why. Before the game occurred, I said, pay attention to the number 44 in this week's scoring. Pay attention to the number 44. Why? Because the date was September 21st, 2014. 9 plus 21 is 30, plus 14 more is 44. So the date numerology was 44. And I said this before the games were played out. And we're going to look at the schedule from that week. Right away, you can see the Colts scored 44 points, but I'm going to show you it's better than that. Only 2 games had anything to do with 44. We'll go through it. Bucks Falcons 60, nothing to do with 44. Chargers Bills 32, nothing to do with 44. Redskins Eagles 71, nothing to do with 44. 65, nothing to do with 44. 47, interesting. 29, 7-33. Look at this, True Seekers. This is week 3 of the NFL. Bengals sums to 33 with the S exception. That's where you compress each letter one time. Bengals equals 33. They won 33-7 over the Tennessee Titans, who used to be the Houston Oilers. Oilers also has a gematria of 33. This used to be the Oilers. Anyhow, here we go. Here's a game that has to do with 44. Ravens and Browns. And why is this curious? Because this is Baltimore, where the Colts won the Super Bowl. They were the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl 5 44 years earlier. Baltimore Colts, 44 years earlier, won Super Bowl 5 over the Cowboys. Why else this game is curious is because the Cleveland Browns lost their football team for a second. They moved and became the Baltimore Ravens, and then the Browns got their team back. So in a way, these are both Cleveland Browns. And the thing that's interesting about that is Cleveland is the only city name in the NFL that sums to 33 in gematria. Only Cleveland. Packers-Lions, the outcome of this game was 19-7. I think this is going to be the NFC Championship, you guys. And I fully expect the Lions to be playing the Colts in the Super Bowl. That's the prediction I made after week 3. I'll get more into that. Here's the other game, Colts-Jaguars, 44-17. We'll look at the rest of the games. I just want to show you that none of them have anything to do with 44. Chiefs-Dolphins sums to 49. 56, 46. Nothing's 44 except for Colts and Baltimore, Cleveland. The two teams associated with the Baltimore Colts, which won the Super Bowl 44 years earlier. And also I want to note that the Seattle Seahawks last year, who went on to win the Super Bowl, defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 3 by a score of 45-17. 45-17. The Seahawks, the prior winner of the Super Bowl. And it should also be noted that Golden Tate went from the Seahawks to the Lions in the offseason. He played college football in Michigan. I mentioned that because Golden Tate just won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He might very well participate in the Super Bowl again this year with the Lions. All right, so let's just go through some things that I documented as the season went along. That week 3 matchup, that's also when the Seahawks and Broncos met, the Super Bowl from last year. It's only the 6th time in history that has happened. And what's curious is that game was not on primetime. It wasn't Sunday Night Football. It wasn't Monday Night Football. It was just with the regular mix of games, even though it was the Super Bowl rematch and something that rarely happens in history. To me, that was a clue, a hint that these teams are not going to be in the Super Bowl this year. And I expect Andrew Luck to face Peyton Manning in this year's AFC Championship. Okay, so here was another good tribute along the way, True Seeker. This week 3 game, which was October 9th, 2014, imagine that date, 10-9-14, add it together, it sums to 33. In this game, the Colts finished with 33 points, and they really should have scored 34, but they went for 2 when they didn't need to, and it looked like they purposefully did not try to score. I think it's because it was all part of the tribute to the spectacle of 33 and their path to the Super Bowl. Date numerology of 33, score with 33. And then just look at the stats. So often the stats have been curious this year. He had 44 attempts on the game. Remember how I told you this number 44 is what tipped me off to them being in the Super Bowl. T.Y. Hilton. Hilton's a name with a 33 gematria. So many hotels have 33 gematria, True Seeker. It's insane. Look at his yards. 2-2-3, like 3-2-2 backwards. Could they really script the stats? This is something I'm asking myself. I'm not certain, but oftentimes it looks very much so. More recently, on December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day, I had another post, a longer one, about how the Browns would lose to the Colts in this game because it's part of the tribute to Super Bowl 49. And the final score had a sum of 49. Colts, Browns, 25 plus 24 is 49. The Colts won with hardly any time left on the clock on a last-second Andrew Luck touchdown pass. In the first half of this game, the Browns were allowed to interfere and not have any flags called against them. In the second half, the Colts were allowed to do the exact same thing. When you just watch this with open eyes, it's very easy to see how rigged the NFL is. I also just wanted to point out that this game was in Cleveland, the city with the 33 name. It was on Pearl Harbor Day, a date this year with a numerology of 33, 12 plus 7 plus 14. These numbers, 33 and 49, they connect to the Bible. The first book in the Bible is Genesis, sums to 33. Revelation sums to 49. The Bible's of 66 books. Again, the first Super Bowl was in 66. If you find these things hard, if you find it hard to imagine that these things really are interconnected, I would ask you to just even think about just more on a surface level. What day does NFL football happen on? Sunday. Originally, it was only on Sunday, the same day people go to church. And I'm telling you, the NFL is just another way for these elites to get out their message. They get it out through the churches. They get it out through the NFL. I mean, think about the NFL when you're watching it. What are you getting? You're getting military programming. You're getting alcohol consumption programming. You're getting potato chip advertisements. You're being reminded to go buy a new car. It's a spectacle. All right, here's another one of my favorite tributes along the way. This game, where Baltimore played Indianapolis. Remember, these are the two teams that have to do with Baltimore Colts back in the day. The Ravens scored 13, Baltimore Ravens. The Colts scored 20. What is 20 plus 13? Of course, it is 33. 33, True Seeker. Luck had 49 attempts on the game. 49, True Seeker. You know what else is interesting about the Ravens? They were in Super Bowl 47 against the 49ers with the 33-minute blackout. Look it up if you didn't know that. Yes, 33-minute blackout, Super Bowl 47. First Super Bowl between brothers, the Harbaugh brothers. Harbaugh has a gematria of 39, like the Old Testament. John defeated Jim. John sums to 47 in gematria, just like Super Bowl 47. Oh, True Seeker. This one made me laugh. In the build-up to this game, there was a commercial because it was going to be on ESPN. And in the background, they were playing the song Spirit in the Sky. So I thought, why are they playing this song for the commercial? So I looked it up, and lo and behold, Rolling Stone ranks Spirit in the Sky number 333 on their list of 500 greatest songs. I mean, True Seeker. They are really going out of their way here. They are really going out of their way. And yes, the Colts did win that game. Let's see. So as for the why I think the Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl, the Lions were the only team. Let's see. They were the only team before the season began to have 33-1 odds to be in the Super Bowl. I noticed that. Then I noticed that 33 years earlier, they hosted the Super Bowl in Detroit for the first time. So you have these 33 things going on, and oftentimes with the Super Bowl, there's a lot of 33 connections. Like last year, the Seahawks won. The Seahawks are one of the few teams with a 33 name gematria. They are Lions, Bengals, Seahawks. Those are your 33 teams. And then Cleveland's the 33 city. And what's interesting about the Lions is they played in Ohio before they moved to Detroit. Their last season in Ohio was the 33 season. They moved from Ohio to Detroit for the 34 season. All right, so Jim Caldwell, he's the former coach of the Colts. Now he's the coach of the Lions. He was the first black coach in the ACC. That was in 1993. He's got a January 16th birthday in the year 55. Notice that's the number 911 upside down. And I truly fear that something bad is going to go down at this year's Super Bowl as well, which would make all the more sense to have Detroit be in it, right? The first city to collapse in the United States. Here's some stuff just from their past. They were in the Western Division from 33 to 49. 33 to 49. Remember those numbers. Genesis, Revelation. This year's Super Bowl is in Glendale, Arizona. Glendale, Arizona sums to 144, like the phrase Mark of the Beast, as mentioned in Revelation. It's on the 33rd parallel north. Glendale with Pythagorean gematria sums to 33. There's a lot of numbers on this game, Truth Seeker, more than most Super Bowls. However, last year's Super Bowl was quite a spectacle too. It was the first hosted by the 3rd and 11th state, the first to be hosted by 2 states. It was on the 33rd day of the year. As you can recall, Philip Seymour Hoffman was found dead with 44 bags of heroin on the 4th floor. All right, Truth Seeker. The Lions also this year participated in the earliest game that was played out in the UK. They won that game on a last-second field goal. Oh yeah, here, Truth Seeker, I just want to throw this in here. In the past, we've seen these kind of spectacles before, how we can see that the games have been rigged. This is Super Bowl 3. Think about the number 3. We talk about 33, 2 3s. In this game, Joe Namath predicted that he was going to beat Don Shula. And look, Joe Namath, a name with a 33 gematria. Don Shula, 31, like the ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, 31 through 33. Don is also a name with 33 gematria when you use simple English gematria. You think about how that name's used in the Mafia, the Don. Yeah, Broadway Joe, name with 47 gematria. It's on and on, Truth Seeker. So here, more recently, another tribute. Oregon's QB became the first Oregon player to win the Heisman. Heisman is a word with 33 gematria, and he was wearing a Unitas jersey the whole weekend before he became the winner. So I want to point out some things about Marcus Mariota and what I think this symbolism is here. First of all, let's notice that Johnny Unitas died on September 11th, 2002, the one-year tribute or anniversary of 9/11. And as you can recall, if you're in the United States, we were told that September 11th brought us together as a nation like never before. And think about the name Unite Us. All right. So, Marcus Mariota, this is the Oregon quarterback. He's got the jersey on. His initials, MM. M is the 13th letter. In Pythagorean gematria, M becomes 13, and then 1 plus 3 is 4. So M is 4. So MM is a lot like 4-4. Also, his name, with simple English gematria, sums to 132. That's the product of 4 times 33. And remember, I'm arguing here, or what I'm articulating, is that these athletes are born to be. It's not just Andrew Luck. It's so many. The only 2 NBA players to three-peat are Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Both of their names in simple English gematria sum to 113, and it goes way beyond there. So this isn't just the NFL either, Truth Seeker. I'm showing you part of a bigger conspiracy, but I'm using Andrew Luck as the example here. So Marcus Mariota. I made this comment down here. You should watch my post on Top Off 4. If you live in Oregon or the Pacific Northwest, you really should know about this, but it's another discussion. I also want to point out that the word Heisman has a gematria of 33, and most of the winners of the Heisman have 33 names, such as last year's winner, Winston. Winston's a 33 name. No surprise there, right? Think of Winston Churchill. And this year's 33 connection is it coming from Oregon, the 33rd state. Oregon's also the only state to have a gematria of 74. Okay. So yeah, we talked about that. these numbers, True Seeker, in sports. Remember how I showed you the NFL was established, or it was the 47th season that they had the first Super Bowl. The first NBA championship was also in the year 47, and it was the year 55 that they created the MVP. It was also 1949 that they adopted the name NBA. The NHL, they adopted their symbol in 47. You know, these numbers, you guys, they're the stamps. They show you who's really in control of these leagues. It's not the players, it's not the owners. With regards to owners, True Seeker, the NBA last year had that race scandal with the Clippers owner. He was the longest tenured owner in the NBA, and do you know how long he was the owner for? Yes, 33 years. All part of a hoax. Here's the MLS, just another example real quick, True Seeker. It was established December 17th, 1993, a date with a numerology of 33. The CEO is Don Garber, 2 names with 33 gematria. It's just through and through, True Seeker. I'm showing you the bigger picture. Let's just even go back in time. How long they've been naming athletes with these names. April 2nd, 1947, this famous athlete died, and he had played in 311 games of cricket. The word cricket itself has a gematria of 33. Cricket was the first professional sport in the history of the United States, but that league faded out. Baseball overtook it. Baseball's based on cricket. Baseball's centered around a diamond. Diamond is another word with 33 gematria, just like cricket. And look at this, 311 games, and then he unexpectedly dies on April 2nd, 1947. What's his name? Joseph Hardstaff. Can you think of a better name, True Seeker, than Hardstaff for cricket? What are some funny names in the NFL? How about the Bears? Bushrod. Bushrod sums to 33. He wears the number 74. I was just saying how Oregon's the 33rd state, the only one with the gematria 74. 33 and 74 are so often paired together. So just one more time, True Seekers. Tomorrow's game is tribute to the coming Super Bowl for the Colts. I expect it to be against Lions. I expect a Packers-Lions NFC Championship, a Broncos-Colts AFC Championship. And if I had to pick which of those teams I thought was going to win the Super Bowl, I'd say the Colts, but I'm honestly not sure. ESPN just did a story last week about a guy who tattooed on his arm that the Lions will win the Super Bowl this year. And if you can recall, somebody did that for the Seahawks last year, but they only did it just days before the Super Bowl. This person's doing it before the Lions have even made the playoffs. So, yeah, Colts-Lions Super Bowl. Not sure who's going to win it. And tomorrow, I fully expect Luck to roll over the Cowboys. I think it's Andrew Luck Day. The date's so much like his name. And just like in the Super Bowl 5, the Colts beat the Cowboys. I also want to point out, you guys, before this, the Cowboys defeated the Lions in the opening round of the playoffs by a score of 5-0. 5-0. How often do you see that score in the NFL? All right. Until next time, True Seeker. Don't let anybody ever say that they never told you the NFL was fake before, True Seeker. You need to understand that. That really is the message. Grown men are sitting around, eating potato chips, drinking beer, watching a hoax, having their time wasted, having their frustrations and their emotions provoked. Have you ever noticed that for most sports fans, True Seeker? It's mostly just a bunch of heartbreak and frustration. Only one of the 32 teams gets to win. That means the other 31 get to feel some feelings of sadness. So, yeah, True Seeker, if you're one of these hardcore NFL fans, wake up to the truth. You're watching a rigged spectacle. Yes, the athletes are talented. Yes, the players are talented. Yes, it's exciting to watch. Yes, people are really getting hurt and tackled. But at the end of the day, these games are scripted. And it's just a monumental waste of everyone's time. All right. Until next time, True Seeker.